Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to forces. Okay, so today is going to be an introductory lesson on forces, as well as I am going to be going over what your project kind of consists of for the end of this unit. Okay, so without further ado, let me kind of go over a little bit of an overview of this unit, and then I'll talk about a little bit of your project, and then I'll kind of go a little bit into this presentation. So first of all, what's going to be in this unit? In this unit, we're going to be learning about forces. All right, we're going to be learning about types of forces. We're going to be learning all about Newton's three laws. Hopefully, you at least even heard of who Newton is. And we're going to be pretty much going into what a force is for this particular unit. Okay, so that's going to be what we're going to be looking at. And at the end of this unit, I have a little project for you. This project consists of you writing a report on the forces of a particular activity. Now, this activity can be ranging from an outdoor sport or you designing a prototype or an object to maximize a particular force. So it could be really any type of activity. You're just going to be writing a written report or a research report on that particular assignment. Now, in this link below has a ton of ideas of what types of forces that you could kind of like write about. So, or if you would like, if you read all of these ideas that you can kind of do, you can actually select your own that relates to you even more. So here are a couple of ideas. So first of all, what forces are involved in casting, reeling in a fish, and pulling a net? So that could be kind of one. I like to scroll down. Sorry, this is going to be the page that you turn to, but if you scroll down to travel, compare friction between dry and icy surfaces. How can you increase the friction when walking on ice? So that is going to be kind of like another thing that you can do. There's another idea for sports. How is friction involved in basketball? How does ski wax affect the friction of your skis? Compare waxes. You could also even you could do some research on what is the best type of run. Is it better to do longer strides when running or shorter strides when running? So those are a couple of things that I want you guys to do a little bit of research on, write a report on it. And that is going to be pretty much your unit assignment. Okay, so this is going to be due 3 to 4 weeks from now. Before I move on, let's go into a bit of requirements. First of all, you have to work alone on this one, just because I want you guys to do some independent research on this. Follow the template in here, so I'll click on this in a bit. But before that, it has to be 400 word minimum, and you must cite where you found your research. This is going to be a research assignment. If you would like to do the actual experiment on what is a little bit better, you still have to do the research as to like if your theory supports that particular area. But anyways, let me go click on this really quick. So if you click on this, your template kind of comes up. It looks very similar to the Parachute Project Stage 5 template. But anyways, you're going to follow this template out. So explain what your activity is and what it consists of in the introduction. For your activity, what are you trying to find or achieve? So in this case, if I was going to be doing what is the best way to shoot or to make a layup in basketball, I would write that out as my introduction and what is going to be my hypothesis prior to that. Okay, procedure, we're going to go over a little bit more of this throughout the unit, so please pay attention during class, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of practice throughout that. Data is going to be pretty much you going online and finding what your data kind of supports. If you could do the experiment yourself, but you need to talk to me, but I do still want you to have some form of research, okay, as to kind of what the data some people online collected. Okay, And then lastly, conclusions, summarize your report, and cite your resources, which is just copy and paste the URL link. All right. So that is going to be your forces and activity project. It is going to be worth 100 test points. So this is going to be kind of the grading rubric. I'm going to be pretty much grading it according to this template as well. So make sure you are following this template and you have it in that particular format. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transition into going into what actually is a force. And we're going to be talking about a term called inertial frame of reference. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to kind of transition into that and we'll be done for today. So what is a force? Okay, so a force in physics is pretty much any interaction that involves a mass or energy. When opposed, will change the motion of an object. Okay, it's a fancy way of saying forms of a force is going to be kind of like if an object interacting with a push or a pull on another object. Okay, now that doesn't necessarily mean if an object has a force on it, that doesn't mean that the object is moving. Okay, you can have two forces making an object kind of stay in place, but that's pretty much what a force is. It's just kind of a push or a pull interaction on an object. Okay. Here are going to be 4 fundamental forces in our universe. Okay, fundamental forces are kind of like our field forces. So for gravitational force is kind of known because we know gravity all the time. We jump up and we come back down, right? So that is going to be gravitational. Electromagnetic is going to be what we're going to be learning in chemistry, if you ever get to me in chemistry. And weak nuclear force and strong nuclear force is going to be way outside the scope of even high school. So we're not going to really talk too much about these, but in this class, the only fundamental force that we'll talk about is gravity. Okay, so now we'll talk about also a little bit more of other types of forces, but for right now, we're going to transition into Newton's laws and inertial frame of reference. Well, mostly inertial frame of reference. So inertial frame of reference is a set of criteria or stated values in relation to which measurements or judgments can be made. This can be a fancy way of saying what objects are involved in my system. Okay, I'll say that again. What objects are involved in my system? Okay, so let's say in my frame of reference, I have a ball sitting on the table. Okay, so what objects / forces are involved in my system? So in my inertial frame of reference, I'm going to have my table, which is I'm going to represent as this blue box. Okay, the table's involved in here. I have the ball, okay, and I have the Earth system. The Earth system because the force of gravity is pulling downwards on my ball. Okay, so what forces are acting on the ball? We have the force of gravity acting on my ball, pulling it down, right? But what's making it stay up? Well, the only thing that's keeping the ball staying up is this force of the table acting on the ball, which another way of saying that type of force could be a normal force, a force opposing kind of like in that particular direction. I'll talk a bit more about normal forces in a bit. But we're going to be really just really focusing on inertial frame of reference. All right? So let's do another example. What objects are in this inertial frame of reference? So in this case, I have a cat. I have it holding onto a rope. All right? And so in this frame of reference, we have the cat and the rope has to be taut. So that's what it is. And what's bringing the cat down? Why is the cat holding on? Well, the Earth is pulling it towards the ground. So according to this system, I have the cat, rope, Earth system that is going to be in, or this inertial frame of reference. Okay, lastly, let's do this example, and then we'll conclude. What objects are in this inertial frame of reference? We have a parachute, sir. We have a parachute. We have the Earth. Is there anything else? Not really, right? So in this case, I believe we have our parachute, right? We have the parachuter, right? So the parachuter is going to be going, or is going to be like falling down in this case. But what's causing it to go back up? Well, we have the air molecules and kind of like the air particles on this Earth. So in this case, what's in this system? We have the parachute, parachuter, Earth system. And those are all the three things that are acting in this particular inertial frame of reference. So this is going to be the first step in many for our introduction to forces. But anyways, thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see everybody later.